YouTube and welcome to Theater Talk. For today's Theater Talk, I'm coming at you guys with another review of a show, which was A Chorus Line at City Center. I went to go see it with Sean and I really loved it. So I thought I would talk about it with you guys because it has a very limited run here in the city. It is only running from November 14th to November 18th as part of City Center's 75th anniversary celebration. So I thought I would talk about my thoughts about it here. If you're new here, hello, my name is Tori Cyclic. I make new videos every Sunday for Cyclic Sunday with other videos throughout the week. If you like what you see, like this video down below and subscribe while you're down there as well. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram in the description at tss6295. Now, A Chorus Line is a show that I've kind of gotten into a little bit later on into my life. I knew about it in high school, of course. I knew about it growing up, but I didn't really understand exactly what it was until I started really delving into it, as well as auditioning for productions of it and understanding where I would fit into that show. And I've really grown to love it a lot, especially also because I've learned choreography from it in college and through different auditions and things like that. So it's been really cool to kind of understand the show a lot more, and especially being oh, I'm in the exact situation as the characters in the show, and then getting to actually see it live for the first time. It was just really amazing. So like I said, A Chorus Line is only running at City Center from November 14th to November 18th here in New York City as part of the 75th anniversary gala celebration that they're doing at City Center. And I think it's a perfect choice for their season, for this season, because they also have their other shows they're doing later in the year. But I think this just works really well for celebrating their anniversary, as well as it being such a big show. And I think there's another anniversary for A Chorus Line this year, so it's just a great choice. And also it's a great show to do as well. It hasn't been revived in about 12 years on Broadway, and I think it is due for one, especially with the cast that is in the show right now. If you don't know what A Chorus Line is at all, it is a show that talks about an audition. It literally takes place at an audition at a Broadway theater in 1975, and it is an audition run by this man named Zach, who is putting together a new production of a show. You don't really know what it is, you just are watching this audition happen, and you get to meet all the characters because he asks all of these characters to talk about themselves in the audition process and callback process that they are there for, and they tell a lot about their personal lives, their stories about how they became dancers and what they did to start their careers. The audience gets a really great perspective on how an audition works, and from me going into auditions a lot and actually getting to see the show live, I was like, wow, this feels like I am sitting and watching an audition. And in my brain I'm like, oh, this is painful, but also I was like, I'm really enjoying this because I was sitting there watching it with Sean, and I try to talk about how auditions are and explain the process of how they go. And when I was after the show, I was like, Sean, I was like, this is basically what an audition is like. It's not as extreme, obviously, but that's kind of how it is, that you learn combinations over and over again. You drill them and run them over and over again, and then you might get cut or you might get kept. So there's a lot of things in A Chorus Line that I'm like, this is very realistic. A Chorus Line was conceived by Michael Bennett in the 70s, and it's created from stories that he talked to actors about. He literally sat down with people and said, I want you to tell me your story and we're gonna create a show. And that's how A Chorus Line came to be. This production has a huge stacked cast and crew. I'm just gonna read some of the names that are on here. It was choreographed by Bayork Lee, who is the original Connie Wong from the show, directed by Bob Avian, who is the original co-choreographer of the show and has worked with Michael Bennett a ton while creating this show in its first production of it. To name some of the people that you might know who are in the show: J. Armstrong Johnson, Max Clayton, Tony Yazbek, Robyn Hurder, Melanie Moore, just a couple of the people that are in this show and are absolutely amazing and so talented, and it's just amazing. It was a great cast. It was very well cast, in my opinion. I think everybody who's in this show was cast perfectly for the parts that they were put into. Of course, I love the choreography from the show. I've learned it a couple times in auditions as well as in college for the opening number, as well as for one at the end of it, and it was really hard for me to not jump out of my seat and do the choreography with everybody, as well as singing along to some of the songs, because I love it. I just really have found a true joy for this show, and know that at some point, and hope that at some point in my life I get to do it, because it's such a show for dancers. And as a dancer and someone who goes through this process a lot of auditioning, it really hits home for everything that I do every single day. Of course, I've got to talk about some of the cast members. I have to talk about Robyn Hurder as Cassie. Oh my god. Incredible, just absolutely incredible. I don't know Robyn personally, but I know her through a couple people, and I've heard just nothing but amazing things about her. And also I follow her on Instagram. I'll link her down below because her Instagram is just so wonderful and filled with all of her success. And she was in Chicago on Broadway. She was Mona and Understudy for Roxy. She's gonna be in Moulin Rouge as Nini. She's just one of these powerhouse women who is killing it in her career, and she's been on Broadway forever, and she did Cassie on the Chorus Line tour like 10 years ago. So to actually get to see her do this in the show was just so great, and her music in the mirror was incredible. Like the whole dance sequence, she just like was so in the pocket, feeling every bit of the choreography. I just felt like she understood the character so much and brought so much of her own personal life to it and her own personal experiences, and that really made me connect with the character of Cassie, and I just loved it. The whole turn pass at the end of the number, of the double turn kick, I was in shock the entire time just watching her do this, and at the end she got a standing O because like why wouldn't she? And after she finished Music in the Mirror and went on to the next scene, it was like she wasn't even tired. I was so impressed. Eddie Gutierrez, who played Paul, I have to give a shout out to him as well because his monologue comes kind of right after Music in the Mirror, and Paul is always a monologue that like is very, very heavy because there's a lot of tough material that is in that, but I think he played it so well and made really, really great character choices, and I felt a real connection to him as a character because it felt like he had really gone through the experiences that Paul had, and talking about it, it felt very natural and real. All of the singing in the show was just absolutely amazing because it was a stacked cast of people, and I think my favorite number singing wise in the show was At the Ballet. It's also one of just my favorite numbers from the show, and I think the girls who played Sheila, Maggie, and BB just worked really well together on all the harmonies, and it just felt good just listening to all of their harmonies and things. And the girl who played Maggie, when she hit the high note at the end of Ballet, I was like, oh, I literally went like, yeah, you hit that high note and felt that out. It was just great. Honestly, I feel like this production needs to go to be a full revival on Broadway. I don't know about you guys, but if you've seen it and you think the same thing as me, let me know in the comments down below, because it's just a great cast of people, and all of the actors bring so much to these characters, and I would love to see a Chorus Line back on Broadway as well. A fantastic, fantastic production. I loved it. I really loved it. If you saw Chorus Line at City Center, please let me know down in the comments below what you thought about it. I'm also trying to build this Theater Talk series up a little bit more because I did a lot with it last year, and I want to keep doing more with it because audition season is also starting back up again soon, and I would love to know what you guys want to see on my channel in this Theater Talk series in particular, because it's something I felt like really helped me through the audition process and season last year. So let me know if there's anything you'd like to see in particular in that regard. And as always, if there's anything you want to see just in general on my channel and what you thought about this video, leave that in the comments down below too. Like this video down there and subscribe while you're down there as well. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram in the description as per usual, tss6295. Just go for it, just follow me. I've got a lot of stuff going on Instagram. I post there all the time, so thank you guys so much for watching DFTBA, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.